No, whatever it is.
What is time?
It's just time. Yeah.
What are going to be the biggest points of emphasis today when you guys watch film?
We're probably going to talk about defense a little bit. Probably transition D. Just our shell. We were so individually focused yesterday defensively. It's amazing how many times you can see a guy driving and our guy should be in shell and he's up hugging up against this guy. It happens. You get competitive with your individual guy, and they're pretty special guys. So you want to focus on stopping him. And we wasn't a great team defensively yesterday, and we got to get back to doing that.
Obviously, you guys aren't going to be on the court today. Is there any change in Joel's status or any way?
Well, there's no change in his status. I'm assuming it's doubtful. What I don't even know what the words are. Whatever they are, they haven't changed. So to be honest, but he's working out today. He's over there with some of our guys right now, and I'll get the report when he gets back. So, but the fact that he's doing that is a step forward for sure.
Does yesterday's result change at all the approach with him?
No, it's just health based. If he can play, he plays. If he can't, he can't. If it's 50-50, we would probably err on the other side because we've done that all year. So it's just not. We're not going to take any chances. But if he's ready, he'll play.
What would it typically take to go from zero running to being able to play?
Well, he's doing that today, doing some running, and so we'll see how it looks and how he looks. He has done some. I don't actually ever know that answer. For me and you, absolutely not. But he has done some pool work and stuff. It's just not basketball. I mean, at the end of the day, and even our guys, I thought yesterday, even though we had a whole week of playing, off and playing, I thought the first 5 minutes of the game we were gassed. Which if you don't play playoff basketball for a week and then you get in and they were flying, you're exhausted. So when he does come back, if that's game 2, game 3, whenever he comes back, he's going to be tired. And we're going to have to monitor that as well. That'll be a new thing to throw in. Probably our substitutions, rotations would have to change with it.
Coach, what was his drill? I mean, you say he's going to work out. Is there anything specifically that?
No, we're just doing some skeleton work. Meaning running through our shell offense and doing it up and down a couple of times and see how he does and how he fares. So.
And then I guess a lot of it is also like the next day, see how it.
That's the whole key. That's why we're doing it because you have to do it the day before to see if the next day if there's increased swelling, then even if he feels good, it's a no. So that's what we'll have to find out tomorrow.
Doc, what's key to keeping your team in that level of focus that you're talking about? I mean, you've seen it all from winning a championship, being up big in the league. Like, how do you keep these guys just so locked in the way they were last time?
You just do. Every game is a singular game. They really are, and you have no choice. You won one game. The goal is 4, and then move on. So you have to just stay focused. We've won a game. And it's a heck of a game. It's a fun game. Competitive game. We won the game, which makes all that even better. But they're good. I think that's what stood out, for me playing against them. You're sitting there as a coach and you're like, "Ooh, they're good," and I knew that. But watching them again, that reinforces. And so this is going to be a tough series, and then we're going to have to be ready every night.
Your guys, when you talk about the defense, you're a defensive built around defense, and you build that defense around Joel.
Yeah.
Does it not make sense that would be the part that is least adapted, because you can't really replicate that?
Yeah, we had no rim presence last night, and actually I would say usually even the guys non-Joel are better. I thought Paul was usually better at the rim. We just had no presence last night, and it was almost like they did know it, but. Even when you know it, sometimes you can't take advantage of it. They took advantage of that. I mean, they were at the rim the first half. But in the third quarter, little plays that stand out that change the game. The first play of the third quarter, PJ gets a steal. And it was almost like announcing, okay, we're here now. I think he scored 21 points or whatever in that quarter. I thought from that point on, defensively, we were back into the game.
Doc, on that note, I mean, on nights like last night, you can really kind of see what he brings just by if he was even able to go out there and stand, and it's kind of interesting because
you didn't know that before.
Every time I watch it, And then with the MVP tonight, you know, a lot of
Yeah, I forgot about
the
that,
credit
yeah.
that he doesn't get
Yeah.
kind of comes down to the defensive end.
Yeah.
It's really hard to kind of quantify his impact. But do you feel
Well,
like,
it was pretty obvious last night.
well, yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I mean,
You know, I watched the game on, you know, I always watch the game after the game with no sound. There is no sound on my computer now that I think about it because they took it off. But then I finished and the game was on TV and you kept hearing Reggie say, "There's no Joel at the basket." I mean, everybody said it 50 times. I can't wait to see him. I said, we know. We don't have to announce that every single time they lay it in. But it was funny. It got to be comical, you know. And yeah, that's what he does. Big players like Joel, they erase the mistakes that we make on defense. They also allow you to be more aggressive. You know, with Melt and guys, we want them to be into the ball and be more aggressive. And the guy wants to drive. You know, go ahead. That didn't happen last night.
What's it been like for you to witness his progression? Because when he started in the league, you were an opposing coach.
Yeah.
Then he come over here 3 years ago
Yeah.
and start to get to know him.
Yeah.
And now year 3, what have you witnessed as far as his progression?
Oh God, that's a good question. You know, coaching against him, it was hard. You know, you can see I was in the West, and you know, saw him twice. And the first couple of times, man, this guy's good. You know, you didn't see how good he was, and then coaching him yourself. I mean, just for me, it's just the improvement he's done in the 3 years. You know, I thought starting with conditioning. You know, that was the first talk we had when we got together. Like, hey, listen, you want to be what you, all these things that we just said at the table at dinner and went over, you can't be that without putting an amazing amount of time on the floor. And so all those things he did, you know. Second thing was, I said, forget offense, let's go to defense. You know, you got to be a dominant fourth quarter defender. You know, you have to be. You have to be able to shut down games with your defense in the fourth quarter. And then the third thing was offensively, we have to figure out where to put you. You know, and at the time, you know, we had the ratio of jump shots, you know, rows, posts, and I said we got to figure out the right ratio for you. And then the fourth thing was the go-to shot. And each year, to me, he kind of added that. You know, and passing was the fifth. And so if you look at his progression, each year he's gotten better in each one of them. This year was a big step for him, though. He's as great as he was last year. This year, you know, being at the elbow, seeing double teams, being a better passer. But that just doesn't come because you watch film and okay, do it. That comes because you watch film, you do it, and then you work on it hundreds and hundreds of times. Alone in the gym, by yourself. You know, Drew's been a great help for him in that as well. Sam, all of us, you know, cooperation is a big part of that. And so he's done all that and he's kind of given himself to the team. You know, he's a loner. You know, he really is. And, you know, and so he, you know, it's unnatural for him and he's doing it. So all those things have been great for us.
Doc, what was the key for unlocking Tyrese in the second half last night? Just kind of getting him going full steam ahead, things like that.
Getting them early, high step ups. You know, we ran all the high step ups for James in the first half. And, you know, we really made a point of emphasis of getting the ball to him early. And instead of setting the picks at the free throw line, we were setting them literally at half court. We just felt like when we get Tyrese running downhill, it's going to be good for him. PJ yesterday had an extraordinary pick game. The flips. I think he had 7 flip picks where it was on the left, flips to the right, and we came off. We had point. We actually missed 2 or 3 of them, but they were point blank looks, and that's hard. Those little quick flip picks and not getting charges or offensive fouls are hard to do. Probably his best pick game of the year was last night.
You mentioned D'Anthony and his defense, but just overall, how do you feel like his regular season, where he was in so many different spots for you all year, has maybe benefited him during the
Yeah, it's like one of our coaches said, we have 2 Swiss Army knives. We have Tobias and we have D'Anthony. And we asked D'Anthony, you know, my favorite moment last night was, and you know, they didn't go to him. I have joked with D'Anthony afterwards. You know, that last play Boston had, we were literally in the huddle like, we're going to put on Tatum? Because so far nothing had worked. And he walked in the middle of the huddle and said, I got Tatum. Now, Tatum never got the ball, so so we were good with that too. But we were laughing. I was like, D'Anthony will never know. But at least he said it, you know, because Tatum was cooking us yesterday, And we tried different things. We didn't want to commit to a lot of double teams. That was part of our thought. We just didn't want to open up the 3-point line. We felt like if we could, and again, the no Joel part, but we felt like the more drives, if we could, the less threes, and it would, in the end of the day, would probably help us.
Doc, up 1-0 on the road.
Yeah.
In here, what's the biggest thing you got to guard against tomorrow night?
We got to just win. All right, I don't think about the 1-0. Like, that's over. At least for me, and that's what our players. We got to focus on tomorrow. What does 1-0 get you? Get you 1-0, I guess. So, but other than that, we just got to be ready. We got to believe they're going to play better. And I talk about that all the time. The golf Tiger Woods thing. Like, expect them to play great, and then expect to win yourself. And that's what we talk about every day.
Thanks, Coach. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Doc.